Nick Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what I say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn more pay. Hard work, work.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Listen, I think that the beginning of my show messed up. Yeah, it's kind of like America right now, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Good morning, Alexis. Good morning, Marcus. How better teams got better than Texas stayed the same, which is terrible. Nah, we'll talk about the H-Town Rockets, Texas Astros. I don't think that you all may not have heard the beginning of my show. And y'all give me 1 second. Let me do this. Forgive me for there we go. Y'all can tell that I'm still dealing with my allergies, even though I feel a lot better today. Y'all like my hat? I'm using this one for today. Y'all know why in a second. All right, hold on for a second. Just in case. All right. Once again, you tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you are follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Why do I look so dark? This lighting here is terrible right now. I gotta fix that. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because we do everything for the gram. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media, and make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and subscribe to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. Take you some COD liver oil, Sarge. I don't even know what that means. Is it really though, Corey? Is it really? Don't worry, we'll get to that in just a second. What's going on, y'all? Before we get started, as you all know, I did not do a show on Tuesday. I was going to do a late show, but I just wanted everybody to exercise their right to vote, and so I said, you know what? I'm not going to bother anybody on today. I'm just going to let everybody go out and vote. And so, if you exercise your right to vote, salute. If you did not exercise your right to vote, salute. I fought for you to be able to have to go either way. You could either vote or you not vote. It doesn't matter. That's your right. As an American, you have that right. As you live in America, you have that right to either vote or not vote. Here's my thing though. So if you did not vote, you can't complain. Let me say that 2 times for the people in the back. Hey, if you did not vote, you don't have a right to complain. That's how that works. I'm sorry. Those are the rules. I don't make them up. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Like if you don't vote, then when things start going bad, you can't complain because you didn't exercise your right to do anything about it. Just how it is. I tell people all the time, hey, look, go out and vote or don't. That's your right. In America, you have that right. If you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. Don't vote. That's on you. I'm perfectly fine with it. Whatever you decide to do, let me do this. There we go. Oh, hello. Whatever you decide to do is what you decide to do. That's neither here nor there when it don't affect my life one way or the other. I just don't like people who don't vote and they still complain. Oh man, the economy is blah blah blah. My district, my streets are like blah blah blah. Well, did you vote? Because if you went like there was 76 different things there was 76 pages I had to go through to vote. Like I went through 76 pages to vote. I didn't just go in there and they said, hey, who you want to vote for president? And I clicked it and then I was out of there. No, that's not how that works. What is going on? Here we go. up with the thumbnail? What you talking about, the thumbnail? Is my thumbnail messed up? I know it's been a minute, but I don't know. But if you did not, Patty, tell me what you mean. What you mean? What's up, AD? Hold on, let me put you up there. What's up, AD? What's wrong with the thumbnail? What is the thumbnail messed up? I can't see nothing. Anyway, so if you voted, salute. If you didn't, salute. But if you didn't vote, don't complain. That's just how that works. I mean, you can complain. You still have that right to complain, but like it's gonna fall on deaf ears. It's gonna fall on deaf ears if if they had stuff on the ballot, because they have other things on the ballots outside of they have propositions and things that you can vote for that affect your neighborhood. But if you don't vote, like, what can you say? Oh, that statement in the title. Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything. Oh, we'll get to that. Patty, I thought something was really wrong. I thought I had messed up on something. All right. On today's show, hey, it is mid-season report card time for the Texans. We'll talk about the Texans coaching staff. They need to redeem themselves this week against the Detroit Lions on primetime television at NRG on Sunday night. But first, since some of y'all are so worried about the title, right? Because I had a couple of people talk about the title now. Let's go ahead and just talk about the title right quick. You know what? And let me take this hat off, because I've given my speech. I've given my speech on voting. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, as far as voting and things like that, that's about as much politics as I'm going to talk about right now. What up, Lou? And that's my boy. I'm gonna see Lou. I see you tomorrow, my guy. Let's talk about my title. I said Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything. Hey, let me ask you a question. See, because I don't think some of you all understand how this thing works. So let me ask you a question. Was Nick Caserio supposed to just reach into the sky and pull out an interior offensive lineman? Was he supposed to reach his hand around to his ass and pull one out? Like, was he supposed to reach around to his butt and say, here you go, left guard. Here you go, right guard. Center. What do you mean? What do you mean? Nick Caserio wasn't going to be able to just go out there because there aren't offensive linemen out there that teams are willing to give up, interior offensive linemen, because they need them as well. And if they're going to give up an interior offensive lineman, guess how much that's going to cost? Think about the assets you're going to have to give up. And then when it comes time for the draft, you're going to wonder, well, where are all our draft picks at? How come we ain't got no draft picks to get maybe another safety or get another cornerback or another offensive lineman? Excuse me. Like, how does that work? Like, you can't want Nick to go out there and be aggressive and with these teams and try to get an interior offensive lineman right now, but then you also want to have draft picks. Plus, you also have to have the money in order to get those good offensive linemen that these teams aren't giving up. And that's another thing. Nick can make the phone call. Nick can pick up the phone and say, hey, man, just wondering if you all, were interested in, trading your left guard. Oh, no, Nick, but thanks for calling. I got to get back to, I'm watching the election, my guy. I'm watching these numbers because I got a vested interest if a certain candidate gets elected into the Oval Office. All right, Nick. Yeah, cool talking to you. Bye. Teams aren't out here just ready to give up their interior offensive linemen without getting out an overhaul, without getting the overhaul back. There would have had to been draft picks, future draft picks given up. There's going to have to be money that Nick was going to have to pay in order to get the cap spaces to get some of these good interior offensive linemen. All the while still like trying to field and put together a good team. So that's what I don't understand. I don't understand how you all wanted Nick to go out here and just magically make an interior offensive lineman available from somewhere. It doesn't work that way. I know. I know you all. Listen, I watch the games too. I'm at the games too. Today, I'll be at practice. I'll be in the locker rooms. We'll talk to coach. We'll talk to CJ. We're probably going to bring up the same things that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. And that's, how does this interior line play? How does the offensive line as a unit get better? Yeah, everybody knows the problem. Everybody knows that there's a problem when it comes to the offensive line. That doesn't mean just because the Texans have a problem that the Cleveland Browns are just going to give up an offensive lineman, that the Seattle Seahawks are just going to give up an offensive lineman, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is just going to give up an offensive lineman because the Texans got issues. This is a business too now. I know you're entertained by football, but it's also a business. And if they know that you're out, listen, these general managers from other teams, they watch the games as well. And by them watching the games as well, they also, well, look, we know what the Texans need. So if Nick comes calling, then hey, bro, at the end of the day, we trying to get a bag over here. You know why? Because Nick is the same way. You're calling Nick and you're trying to get one of his good assets. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. Don't believe me? Deshaun Watson didn't want to be in Houston anymore. The Houston Texans didn't want Deshaun Watson to be here anymore. But by the same token, the Houston Texans still held all of the cards when it came to Deshaun Watson. He was still under contract. Oh, Atlanta, you want him? This is what it's going to take to get him. I don't care about his feelings. I don't care about how he feels and where he wants to go and what he wants to do. I don't care nothing about that. I got these. I hold a trump card over here. No pun intended. Cleveland, you want him? This is what you're going to have to give up. This is what you're going to have to give up. And at the time when the Cleveland Browns traded for Deshaun Watson was a very, very, very good quarterback. He was still a very good quarterback, even though he sat out a year. And even though he was going through all his legal issues, still good. A lot of you Texans fans love to go on social media and these radio stations and talk about the overhaul that Nick got for Deshaun Watson and what those picks turned into. You love to brag about that. So what do you think these other because Cleveland needed a quarterback. Well, the Texans need offensive linemen. What do you think these general managers are doing? They trying to get the overhaul just like Nick got. And look, some of these offensive linemen that could have come in here and helped, it may not have been worth what Deshaun Watson was worth, but it was going to cost you something. Hold on. He had a no trade clause, so they had to worry about his feelings to an extent. To an extent. They could have made him stay. They could have made him stay and didn't care about his feelings. They could have made Big Steve. Hey, great point too, Big Steve. They could have made Watson stay and kept putting on practice squad opposing teams' jerseys. He could have been playing he could have been scout team safety like he was. Or they could have put him on a practice squad. I don't know how that works actually, but they could have kept him playing scout team safety if they wanted to. But my point is that they want to the Texans want to improve, but they weren't going to be able to improve at the trade deadline right now. This is going to have to take place in the offseason. Nick is going to have to do some willing and dealing in order to get that offensive line straight. So I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, he would say, all right, look, there's nothing I can do right now. I know what it's going to take. I know what we need. Let me just say, let me fix my problem. You remember on one show I told you all, this is a problem that should have been fixed. This problem should have been fixed during training camp because Nick and D'Amico and Bobby and Chris Strausser and Matt Burke all seen it. They all knew what was going on. It should have been fixed coming out of training camp. Since it wasn't, Nick can't fix it at the trade deadline either because there weren't a lot of offensive linemen available. One, two, if you wanted to even pique the interest of some of these teams who have good offensive linemen, you're going to have to say, "Hey, this is what I have right here," just to even start the conversation. How many draft picks you talking about giving up, Nick? Wait, how many draft picks? What rounds? Okay, that's a start. That's a start because these other general managers know. These other general managers know that the Houston Texans need offensive linemen. It's not their job to make the Texans team better without getting something. If Nick would have made a trade yesterday, you all would have been complaining come draft time. Or you'd have had to give up one of those good assets that you have already. You would have lost a player from the Texans who has made an impact on the team. It's just how it goes. Hold on. And we are a mid-market team, so draft pick means a lot. Exactly. So that's my thing, right? So that's why I said Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything. And if you look out there, look at what there was an abundance of wide receivers. Y'all wanted Nick to go out and get another wide receiver? Like there was an abundance of wide receivers on the trade market. Abundance of wide receivers. You think he should have went out and got another wide receiver? If you're saying that you think that Nick should have went out and got another wide receiver, at what cost? At what cost should he have gotten another wide receiver? And I get it. Stephon Diggs is gone for the year. Nico Collins is coming back. So now you got Nico, Tank, Mechie, Hutch. You're going to have to roll with that. Robert Woods. If you said, hey, we need a wide receiver, at what cost? Whatever cost you're talking about getting a wide receiver, okay, cool. I got that part. All right. Defensive lineman. You think the Texans need more defensive linemen? Right, Cam. Right. And as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I still don't understand that. I understand when it comes to the business side and the ramifications of the money part and how young he is. But no, not here. No, he's good for Cooper Rush. He's not good for CJ Stroud. So, with that being said, you needed you wanted them to give up all did y'all see what the hold on. Let me just do this real quick. Where is this trade? Where is it? Here we go. If you think that the Houston Texans needed help in the secondary, is this what you want to get? This is what you have wanted to give up? The Washington Commanders traded for New Orleans Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore. The Commanders traded the 2025 pick in the third and fourth rounds and also gave the Saints a 2025 sixth-round pick that they acquired in the previous trade this summer. In addition to Lattimore, Washington received a 2025 fifth-round pick. So if you'd have wanted the Texans to go out and get a defensive back like Marshawn Lattimore, maybe put him out there and move Kamari Lassiter into the nickel cornerback position where Petrie is, and maybe put Petrie back at safety and let him work with Kalen Bullock. However, that's going to work. But which I think that's they're going to do once Jeff Okudah comes back. They're going to mix and match like that. But you'd have wanted the Texans to give up third and fourth rounds in 2025 and a 2025 sixth-round pick and only get back Marshawn Lattimore and a fifth-round pick. So that's what I don't understand. That's exactly what I don't understand. Nick did the right thing by not doing anything. The Commanders are in win now mode while they have the cap space. That trade made sense for them. We are not Washington. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of times when I'm watching social media, I'm always laughing because people get caught up. When it's time when a big name free agent gets released, you always want them to come to your team. Oh man, this person got released. Hey man, he could be he could be good for the Texans. He could be good for the Texans if you put him here, this, that, and the other. If you put him here, man, he be, hey man, hey, he was good about 7 years ago, man. I mean, he still got a little something left in the tank. All right, trade deadline. You start watching these other teams making trades for what they need, and they're going in and they're pulling from the abundance of what's out there to be traded. And then you're like, well, what Nick gonna do? Why Nick ain't doing nothing? Well, how many offensive linemen did you see that was available? And at what cost? This ain't Madden, my guy. This ain't franchise. Ain't what they call it? Ain't franchise mode in Madden. It's cool to be the GM when you're playing a video game, but in real life, these has real life consequences. So yes, Nick Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything, except one thing I don't understand. Nick, why'd you get rid of Khalil Davis? How did you get rid of Khalil Davis but kept Kurt Hinish? And there's no knock at Kurt, but Khalil is a better defensive lineman than Kurt Hinish. I don't understand that. That's the one thing that I don't understand. How did you get rid of Khalil Davis? Unless D'Amico's like, hey, look, I don't plan on I don't know. I don't plan on playing him like that. And let's get him to the best situation. The best situation was the San Francisco 49ers, where he gets to reunite with former teammate Malik Collins out there. So they'll get a chance to play together. I'm still perplexed. I'm still perplexed on why they let Khalil go. Like Khalil was a solid. He's not going to step on the field and blow you away, but he's going to step on the field and do his job. And so that's what I don't understand. I just don't understand how or why you got rid of Khalil Davis. But the good thing about me being a credential media member, hey, I get to get the answers today. Not Nick. Is Nick talking to us soon? Nick may be talking to us soon. Now the trade deadline is over. Now give me a second. Let me look at something. La la la. Play the music. La la la. La la la. La 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 la. La la la. Hey, y'all know what song I was jamming the other day? Bro, I forgot Quincy Jones. I said, bro. No, we're not talking to. We gotta talk to him soon, though. We normally talk to him in the middle of the season. Anyway, I was just hey, R.I.P. to Quincy Jones, right? I forgot he made Just Once. Can we find a way to finally make it right? Ow! Make the magic last for more than just one night. We can all get to it if we can only do it just once. I'm sorry. I like that song. Just once. I don't understand why they got rid of Khalil Davis. I'm gonna ask the question, or someone's gonna ask the question today, and you'll get the answer. You'll get the answer. So I gotta move on. I know some of y'all still don't agree with the title. Some of y'all don't agree that Caserio did the right thing by not doing anything. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. You may not like it, it may not be popular, but he did the right thing. And it wasn't like he wasn't out there trying to find interior offensive linemen. Just they don't grow on trees, and he can't pull one out of his butt. All right, moving right along. It is now time for the Houston Texans midseason report card. Oh, some of y'all ain't gonna like these grades, but I'm gonna go ahead and give them to you anyway. Let's start with the quarterbacks. I gave them a B. I gave CJ Stroud a B. He's fourth. He's led the Houston Texans offense to fourth in passing offense at 221.7 yards per game. He has 2,139 yards passing on the season with 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And I gave him a B because I mean he's doing the best that he can. Now, when y'all hear the grade that I got for the offensive line, then you'll come back and you'll be like, "Nah, that's a B." CJ hasn't played. CJ hasn't done anything this season for me to just give him an A. And like my co-host John Hickman said on the Locked On Texans podcast, he's waiting on this breakout game from CJ Stroud, which is going to have to come, especially with the way that the schedule is set up for the rest of the season. It's good for the remainder of the season. Excuse me. He's going to have to. He's going to have one or two breakout games to get the Texans back in some type of rhythm and lead them, to where they need to go. But I gave him a B, and I thought that B was pretty solid, especially with all the adversity that he has to go through, all of the pressure that he's under, all of the things that he has to make up for when it comes to the offensive line. I think that B is a pretty solid grade. All right. Running backs, I got an A. Hold on for a second. You can't say that there was nobody out there BS. Well, EMAC, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Who was out there? Who was out there? And at what price? EMAC, guess what? Guess what, EMAC? For the next 7 minutes, you get to play general manager of the Houston Texans. And you tell me what you're going to offer for offensive linemen who weren't available, but could become available for the right price. Tell me. I'm trying to figure it out. Like what big name offensive lineman was traded to a team that could have helped the Texans? Like I know the Jacksonville Jaguars traded Cam Robinson to the Minnesota Vikings because the Minnesota Vikings needed a AD, I'm not messing with you today because they needed a left tackle. They lost their left tackle for the season. Okay, so hold on. And I got to hurry up and get up out of here, y'all. But let's see. Let me type in this name. Brandon Brandon Sheriff, right? Oh, what does he play? I'm trying to see. Let me see something right quick. Is that what? No, EMAC, come on, bro. EMAC, are you serious right now? That guy plays for the Washington Commanders. Were you late to the show? You see what the Washington Commanders just gave up? You see what the Washington Commanders gave up for Marshawn Lattimore? They're in win now mode. They're not going to give up their offensive guard with a rookie quarterback. Come on, man. We're talking about the same person. We're talking about the Washington Commanders. Like, I'm not familiar with the Washington Commanders offensive line, but I am familiar with watching the Washington Commanders this year. What do you think it would have taken to get him when they are in win now mode? They are one of the top 5 teams in the NFC. They're not finna do anything to rattle that and mess that up. Hey, AD, am I wrong? Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry, Corey. I don't get a chance to sit around and just talk all day long. Listen, it's 10:07. The Houston Rockets have shoot around today. You want your Houston Rockets coverage too, right? I'm gonna make the show long. I'm gonna start making the show longer just for you, Corey. Hold on. AD said something funny. He traded Khalil Davis because he said he voted for Kamala. I'm not messing with you. Who? Uh, Hold on. Well, did I look up the wrong one? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yes. Plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. Well, why who is this? Oh, I spelt the name wrong. He started out with the Commanders. My bad. Okay, hold on. Hold on. He started out with the my bad. My bad, Emac. Uh I think he was on the last year of his contract with Jacksonville, which makes it crazier now. Emac, you think that the Jacksonville Jaguars is finna trade inside of their own division? Not conference, inside of their own division. It was crazy enough for the Titans to trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs. You think that the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jacksonville, the team that you still have to play, you think Jacksonville's finna trade with the Texans to make them better? They would have hung up the phone in Nick's face. They're not going to do anything to make. They're not going to do nothing to make the. Yeah, I just figured that out. I was looking at the wrong thing. We're not trading for Reynolds, wasting value either. Exactly. So, um, I do though. I got a job to do. He's worth a lot of money. That's probably why the Texans didn't trade for him. Yeah, but hold on. Yeah, it can be done. Act like it don't happen. The Jacksonville Jaguars are not going to trade with the Houston Texans to make them better. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now. They're both in the AFC South. It's not gonna happen. That would make them better. EMAC, that's not happening. It's not. But they can at least change the scheme. Exactly. So let's get to that. All right. So, like I said, I gave CJ Stroud a B at quarterback. All right, running backs. A. Mixon had 609 yards on the season. He's averaging 101.5 yards and 6 touchdowns. And I think that he's also doing a lot with what he has to deal with as far as that offensive line is concerned. Excuse me. So, um, CJ got a B, Mixon got an A, and Mixon has been the bright spot now that he's back. But he has been the bright spot the entire season for that Houston Texans offense, and so then you got no choice but to give him an A. Wide receivers, I gave him an incomplete. Right, I gave the wide receivers an incomplete because they haven't played with the complete unit consistently. Like I haven't seen them play consistently with everybody for a long period of time. And I also gave them an incomplete because they're doing their job. CJ can't get them the ball because CJ's under pressure and Bobby's not doing his job. I'm not finna go into a tirade about the offensive coordinator. We've already been we've already been through all of that. Hold on, what did you say? We would have had to give up a high draft pick to make that happen. To get the offensive lineman from the you talking about if we get the offensive lineman from Jacksonville? Jacksonville ain't doing that. And no, and then I agree with you, AD. But the wide receivers I had to give an incomplete. And we'll reconvene at the end of the season and I'll have a grade for them. But I just there hasn't been enough. And I think that the wide receivers suffer from the fact of the offensive line is bad and the offensive play calling is bad. So I don't know, even though when Nico Collins went out, he was leading the NFL as far as receiving yards, but that's just Nico. I can't give them a grade based off of Nico, who's also missed the last 4 games with a hamstring injury. So I just gave them an incomplete. Let's get to this offensive line. Listen, I don't know how many of you all are familiar with the grading scale when it comes to giving out a grade in school. I don't know if they still do this or not, but I know that when I was in school, it went by A being the best, F being the worst. So you can get an A, you can get a B, you get a C, you can D, you can get an F, right? A, B, C, D, or F. A being the best, F being the worst. I gave the Houston Texans offensive line an H, and it don't stand for Houston, and it don't stand for H Town. It stands for horrible. I made up a. I gave them a letter that's not even on the grading scale, and that's a H for horrible, horrible. I don't need to rehash it. You all have heard it on numerous occasions. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard other people on social media. You've heard other people on YouTube. You heard other people on the radio stations, on television, on these sports shows. We already know what the problem is, right? We already know how horrible the offensive line is. So they get an H. Like that's worse than an F because they played worse than an F. Yes, Cam, hold on. See what Cam said? Horrendous. Yes. Horrendous. Horrible. They get an H. CJ Stroud been sacked 30 times this year. 30. 3 0. 30. 30 times. 30. They say CJ's on pace to be sacked over at least in the high 60s. He may, if they keep on this trajectory, he may be sacked like close to 65, 67 times. A H is what they deserve. And it don't mean H-Town. It don't mean Houston. It stands for horrible. All right. Defensive line. I gave them an A plus. And number 2 in the league in total defense. And that defensive line, we all seen what Will Anderson Jr. is doing. We all have witnessed what the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for the month of September is doing. Was it September, October? I think it was October. We know what Will Anderson Jr. is doing. We see what Daniil Hunter is doing with getting those quarterback pressures. We see Tim Settle Jr. being disruptive. Even Khalil Davis when he was here. Foley Fatukasi. Now that they have Danico Autry back, and they're going to get Mario Edwards back here next week. So we see what's going on. We see that defensive line is probably the strongest position group on the Houston Texans. That defensive line is amazing, and so I had to give them an A plus. The linebackers I gave a B. That's because they played with a lot of injuries this year, even though I like the way that Neville Hewitt stepped up. I like the way that Jake Hansen stepped up with the addition of Devin White. He has come in and he's played a lot better. We know that Aziz Al-Shaair has missed some time due to a knee injury, and we know that Henry To'oTo'o was out with the concussion, but now he's back fully healthy. And so I gave the linebackers a B because of what the reserves were able to do and step in and be able to play. And I don't know. I gotta say this one more time. I don't know when Christian Harris is coming back. I may have an answer for you today. I may be able to find out that answer, but I don't know. I honestly and truly have no idea. So the linebackers get a B. The secondary get a C. And I'm gonna tell you why the secondary gets a C. And I know that some of you all like to harp on the fact that Derek Stingley Jr. has given up a big play here or there, but for the most part, Derek Stingley has been very, very, very effective by shutting down one side of the field. Ricky Kamari Lassiter on the opposite side of Derek Stingley was out for a while with the shoulder injury, but then he came back. And then last week we seen that Devontae Adams for the New York Jets, he put a great move on him. That's something that that's a move you don't expect a rookie to know, no matter how much film study you do. Like you're going up against one of the best to ever do it as far as Devontae Adams is concerned. And so we seen that, and he's had some times, but he's still a rookie. But I do like the way that Kamari Lassiter has played. So I like the way that Kamari Lassiter has played. I like the way that Derek Stingley has played. I know, Eric Murray has had his up and downs as far as the secondary, as far as playing safety is concerned. We know Jimmy Ward has been out with injuries. But I gave them a C because Jalen Petrie is part of that unit. And in totality, I think that playing this position, playing this nickel corner / hybrid linebacker position that Jalen Petrie is playing, it's helpful and it's harmful. Against the Green Bay Packers, it was him who caused that first turnover on the first offensive possession for the Packers by tipping the ball up and Neville Hewitt intercepting it. Excuse me. And then against the Indianapolis Colts, he had an interception where he baited Anthony Richardson into thinking that he wasn't going to be in the area, but he was. And so back to back weeks, he was able to cause turnovers. But then you watch what happened in the New York Jets game, man. I mean, Garrett Wilson made a great catch. He made a Jalen Petrie made a good play on the ball, but that last touchdown on 3rd and 3 that he gave up to Devontae Adams. And to be fair, we've talked about this before. We've talked about this that he can't be asked to hold a player like Devontae Adams. I feel like the New York Jets found the matchup problem that they were looking for, and I also feel like D'Amico Ryans got outcoached on that play because there's no way you've watched Jalen Petrie and you know that he's not very good in coverage and he's not very fast. Like he does have football speed, but if he gets beat off the line, it's hard for him to recover. And so you're putting him one on one in your man to man, and you're not even fully pressing. You're just up on the line. And so as soon as Devontae Adams makes his move, you see Jalen Petrie stumble. He was already beat. He was beat by alignment, but he was beat coming off the line. So what was he supposed to do? But you also got to do your job. And he took accountability for that. And so that's why I have to give the secondary a C because Petrie's part of that secondary. Kalen Bullock. I love the way Kalen Bullock has played, but at times Kalen Bullock has been a rookie because on that exact same play, if Kalen Bullock shades over, they have 2 wide receivers on the left side, 1 wide receiver on the right side, and he's playing the right side of the hash. And I get that part. I don't know what the play call was called, but it looks like to me, I felt like maybe he should have been in the middle of the field. Maybe, just maybe, so he can help prevent the over the top. But when he was from alignment, you cannot do that to a player and a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers for him to be able to look and say, if I see you here, then I automatically know I can go here because I see who's on Devontae Adams. I see who's on Devontae Adams. If you're going to play right here, you don't have enough time. No matter how much pressure y'all are going to bring on me right here, you don't have enough time to get back over here. So if Kalen Bullock is playing in the middle, now Aaron Rodgers has to say, okay, even if Devontae beats him off the line, he still got over the top help. It's 3rd and 3. All right, let me hot route Devontae Adams, or let me hot route someone into us just getting the first down instead of taking the big shot. Let me hot route someone into a 5-yard route, and let's just see if we can go from there. But if I see you standing on this hash and I know that I have a mismatch right here, and I mean, I don't, like I said, I've never coached in an NFL game before. I never coached in an NFL game, so I don't know what D'Amico had called or Matt Burke had called. But I mean, even if I'm playing Madden and I'm looking at and I see where the safety is, and I know I'm hot routing him, look and see who I have on me. Oh yeah, I know that I could be. Let me hot route and just run the 9 route. Hey, run the go. I don't even have to look. They've been playing together for so long. They just look at each other. And they already know. Oh, go route, and that's what happened. So that's why the secondary gets a C. Because of Petrie, and we know that Kalen Bullock still has some growing pains. Special teams, they would have gotten an A plus, but Kaimi Fairbairn missed 2 field goals. I like the way Tommy Townsend is punting here lately. Uh, excuse me. He's helping flip the field for especially with the inefficiencies of the offense. And so, but Kaimi Fairbairn was not good against the Jets. He missed 2 field goals. One was a gimme. Well, Frank Ross always says there's no such thing as a gimme. All right. And so now, quarterback B, running backs A, wide receivers incomplete, offensive line H for horrible, defensive line A plus, linebackers B, secondary C, special teams B, and now it's time for the coaching. And I'm giving the coaches a D. I want to give them an F. I honestly and truly want to give them an F, but I can't give them an F. I can't give them an F. And the reason why I can't give them an F is because the defense is playing so good. Because the defense is ranked number 2 in the NFL as far as total yards allowed. The defense is doing their job. And so if you're going to look at totality as far as the coaching staff is concerned, that defense, Rod Wright got the defensive line playing exactly how they need to play. The linebackers are playing. I can't uh where's my thing for the hold on. Let me look. It should be on here. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Um uh Matt Burke has them playing well, but what am I looking for? Here we go. Bill Davis is the linebackers coach. I knew that, but I want to make sure. And the defense is doing their part. In a lot of these ugly wins that the Houston Texans have had, it has been the defense who has provided the offense the opportunity to win those games, or went out and got a stop to win those games. And so you can't give the coaching staff a F because of the way that the defense is playing. And so in that boosted them up to get a D, because I had them at an F. And that's starting from, and I know that this team is 6-3. I understand that. I understand that they're 6-3 and they're still first in the AFC South. I get that part. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But with the way that they've been coaching, because for as well as the defense has been playing, you got Bobby Slowick as the offensive coordinator, that's automatically an F. By osmosis, the head coach has to fall in that as well. Chris Strausser, what has he been doing? Like that offensive unit as a whole, if I just graded them on that, they would get a H2 for horrible and horrendous. They would. But the way that the defense is playing and the way that the defensive coaching staff has the defensive side of the ball ready to play every game and go out there and give the Houston Texans a chance to win, you got to give them a D. I give the coaching a D, and that's brought up from an H. So they worked their way from an H to a D. Pause. No Diddy. No Orlando Brown. All right, y'all. I gotta get ready to get up out of here. But y'all know how I do it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Let's see what we got. Lou said no need for a wide receiver. Exactly. We need to adjust the play calling like we did for last year's O line. What up, Big Dom? I'm gonna try to make sure I see you on Sunday. Uh yep. Hold on, let me see. Yes, yep. Jaden Peavy added to the practice squad as a defensive tackle today. Let's see. Um, let me see. Um, should Texans not be in win now mode? They should. What is too much to give to protect your franchise quarterback? Well, how you got to keep protecting him? You gonna go out and get a rental? Uh Yep, I fixed that. They call Mr. Nobody. I was looking at the wrong thing, but the Jags ain't giving him up just to give him up. For the Texans, they would have had to give up somebody that they wanted. They hold on. uh hey man, you know what? Cam, you the second person to say that. So y'all don't complain when I come on here and do a 2-hour show. And yeah, Cam and Corey, y'all better sit through the whole thing. The whole thing. Hold on. I think the O-line can't get much better with the pieces they have currently. You're right, Brandon. I don't think so too. Just like I said, we would have had to give up a high draft pick in order to get the offensive lineman from the Jags. Hold on. See. Marcus says I think Mixon go get on the offensive line. hopefully. Hopefully. Oh, yeah, Brian. That's a good point. Uh Amen. Amen. See what Cam say. Stephen L said on this podcast been talking about how D'Amico is playing on islands like the Peter situation. I'm no. Hold on, Cam. No. And I've said this to Steven Nelson on numerous occasions within the last week. Steven Nelson, I said something. Steven Nelson responded to me and then said, "Hey, you can come on my podcast and talk about it." So I said, "Send me the invite." He never sent me the invite. So now he just still talks to me or retweets something that I said, and I say, "Hey, man," he's talking about, "Yeah, listen to my podcast, see what I'm going to say." No, I'm not. Until you invited me on your podcast and then you never ever send me the invite. You can come on Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I will send. Steven Nelson is a good guy. I'm gonna tell y'all that. No matter what y'all want to think about, Steven Nelson is an amazing guy. But Steven, I'm gonna clip this up. Hey, Steven Nelson, you invited me on your show, and then you never ever followed up. I'm not gonna follow up if you invite me. If you invite me, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey man, so when can I come on?" No, but you are formally invited to come on Sports Talk with Big Sarge right here with all of the people who support the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show right here. We do live. We can talk live. We ain't got to record it. We can go live and we can talk to the people. Steven Nelson do be spitting sometimes. No, I'm not going to even lie to you. All right. Secondary deserves a B with the plus on rookie play. Yeah, but Jalen Peach is part of the secondary. Let's see. Ooh. Yep. Calm down. Yep. Can you come back on Friday and we'll have this conversation if you don't mind? I don't want to mess up your name. I just know Strahan is the last name, but Khalil Strahan. If you can come back on Friday, let's have this. I will have this conversation Friday morning with you. All right. Let me see. What? Sorry, Dom. Sorry. I might maybe an hour and 30 and leave. No, Corey, you be putting on spaces for 12 hours. You be on the spaces for 12 hours. Now you give me 2 hours. Might meet Don Friday if he can make it. All right. So what? You have to give up a high pick. We're in win now mode. And if they can't protect CJ, this team is not going very far. Hey, Emac, before I get up out here, let me say this. They need more than just one offensive lineman, though, Emac. They need more than just one. So you go out and you get an offensive guard. Then what are you going to do about the center and the other guard position? Like they need a lot. They need like multiple offensive linemen. Juice has been playing a little bit better, but they need multiple offensive linemen. Getting one doesn't put you in win now mode. Getting two could. But imagine how much you have to get up to get two interior offensive linemen, one from one team, one from the other team. EMAC, that's nah. I would be willing to give high compensation to protect my franchise quarterback. So you're willing to give up mortgage the house, didn't you? If you want 3 new interior offensive linemen, then you're gonna have to give up everything, plus probably Nico. You ready to give up Nico or Mixon? Ready to give up Mixon? No, you're not gonna give up CJ, but you ready to give them up? Like you're not just gonna be able to give up that and not give up picks as well. Yes. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, I did say something about Chris Strausser, but I gave in my report card, I gave the offensive line a H for horrible because they're not. I know you didn't, EMAC. I know you didn't say 3 offensive linemen, but that's what they need. Ask the other people on here who do these breakdowns. Ask AD who does breakdown. Ask Corey. Yeah, y'all, hey, AD and Corey, hop in here for a second if you don't mind. If you think that it's just Kenyon Green that's the problem for the Houston Texans, if you think that replacing Kenyon Green with another offensive guard is going to fix the problem, it's not going to do it. That's not going to get it done. It's not. It's not. It's not going to get it done. You need multiple. Jared Patterson got in there and he injured himself from falling. He fell into somebody's knee. He fell into a person's knee. Go back and look at how many times Shaq Mason has been beat. A lot. Go back and look after Kenyon got out of the game. Kendrick Green was a little bit better, but he wasn't that much better. Go out and look at the problems that Juice Scruggs has had this year. They've got an interior offensive line problem. And then if you move away from the interior offensive line, Titus isn't having a great year. Laramie is probably having the best year out of all of them. But they need a lot. They need 3 offensive linemen. If we're going to replace, we're talking about replacing. One guard is not going to fix the problems that they have. They can't pick up stunts. They can't pick up delayed blitz. Nobody is calling out anything that starts with Juice. So now you don't have Kenyon to blame anymore. When Kenyon went out in the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken, they still had another half of football to play. What did they do? CJ still got pressured. CJ still got sacked. You still had Juice on the line. You still had Shaq Mason on the line. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they haven't played well. They play good in spurts, but they play worse in a larger amount of time. Zach, see. Just replace Kenyon Green. Everything going to be okay. Corey's being sarcastic, just in case you needed to know, EMAC. So in the draft, we need to sign 3 offensive linemen to get it done. I don't think you need to sign 3 offensive linemen. I don't think you need to go and look for 3 offensive linemen in the draft, because there may be some free agents that are going to be available that can come here and help. Shaq, Juice, and Kenyon. Thank you. Yes, he's being sarcastic, of course. Moved up the guys that on the practice squad, let them play. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to mean they're going to be better though. They were available for a reason. Marcus, they were available for a reason. Either coaching bad or front office has no clue how to scout, evaluate linemen. They need to get a new offensive lineman coach. It's going to cost us money to rebuild the O line, including dead cap space. Look at Patty. No. See, EMAC, and I like you, EMAC, because I like to have these. That's why, EMAC, let me tell you something. I don't know if this is your first time here. This is my first time really interacting with you, and I may have missed some of the comments as I'm going, but this is why I like you, though, EMAC, because this is the kind of back and forth I like. And look, over here we joke, laugh, play this, that, and the other. I'm not going to be offensive to you, and as long as you're not offensive to me, and if you are offensive, then I got to remove you. But EMAC, the way that you're talking, I like that. I like the back and forth. By the way, hey, y'all, what the Packers fan? He don't come in here no more, huh? Because he don't want me to say how Jordan Love leads the NFL in interceptions. He don't want me to say how I told him Jordan Love has bad is a bad decision maker. We're not so the Texans aren't cooked this year. They can make it work if Bobby can get himself together. What can fix all of this temporarily? What can fix this temporarily is quicker tempo, quicker pass plays, quicker tempo. Even if you're going to run the ball, just get to the line quicker. Keep the defense off balance. Don't let them substitute. Don't take so long in the huddle and you're allowing the defense to see what you're looking at the personnel and making the calls. No, hey, get up on the line. Let's go. Oh, what? Screen. Oh, okay. That didn't work. Hand off. Let's go. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. Let CJ run the offense sometime. Hey, CJ, here go 7 plays. Hey, pick out of the ones you want to run. Do it. If you need to audible. Let's go. So EMAC, I think that the tempo would change it. They need to find the problem. Get through. That's right. Well, I almost said that's right. BLOOD, but I don't know who on here watching, and I ain't trying to get hemmed up nowhere. Even though I might be good though, right, Marcus? Because I wear red all the time. But then Lou gonna want to fight me. You know what? So what's the online going to look like next year? Well, that's something we'll discuss later on. Sarah said, Who would replace an online coach this season? And they have to do it by committee. If he have another 2 bad games, they're gonna have to do it by committee, Sarah. It can't do no worse, right? I mean, if they're bad with him, then they can't be no worse without him. Leads and interceptions and missed 2 games. Exactly. Does CJ deserve some? Hold on. Does CJ deserve some blame? Some. No Diddy on the play. That's a pause on play. We all can be an OC. No, we can't, Cam. And I've said that on numerous occasions. I'm never called to play. I'm never called to play. But I brought it up to Bobby about what can be done to pick up the tempo. They've even talked about tempo being a must. Tempo's a reflection of culture. You're about to see some real culture when the Lions come to town. Keeping it 100. Hey, they call me Mr. Nobody. You are right. The Lions are the best team in the NFL. Yes. I'm good, Marcus. As long as if I'm somewhere and I give you a call or something and you say, "No, let Sarge make it. He good." Now Sarge is good. Y'all give him a pass. Sometimes I be venturing out into places I don't even be knowing. And then red is my favorite color. So I got on red. And now I'm looking at them and they saying some things to me or they try to shake my hand. I'll be like, "Hey, bro, I just like the color red. I don't know all the other stuff. I'm in the game for Jesus." Sorry, no, Chris and Bobby. All right, y'all. CJ always take the blame, but deserves none. I got to get up out of here. Hey, look at that. Corey, where you at, Corey? Corey, Cam, y'all come on, at least tell me bye. AD, where you at, man? Where you at? Where y'all at? You've been tuning to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you're subscribed to the Locked On Texans podcast and subscribe to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. All right. Yes, sir. I gotta get some sleep, man. My allergies have been bothering me. All right. Bye, Patty. Hey, Alexis. Alexis come on here and I always say good morning, and then I don't hear from her no more. Alexis, you still here? Hey, at least tell you bye. Okay. Big Sarge. I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.